And Malcolm and Terry, everyone else. Do you have any apologies? I believe so. Right, we kick off with public forum. If you, Terry, would like to speak to us about your you'll be talking about.
No, I mean the only thing I was going to say was just about something.
The reeds.
Sorry.
The reeds.
The reefs. Yeah, sorry. I'll start that. The basically reefs. We have a person in the community who makes reefs for the RSA and others, and we'd like to see that. And I know they do this council support local, and in future the reefs for, if possible. Agreement on this board is that the reefs could be made by this person if they put in the appropriate paperwork to council to become a contractor within council. And basically that's it. She just then produced the reefs for Remembrance Day and that day in ill such occasion as may be. Basically it. Keep it short for you under 5 minutes.
Yes.
Thanks, Chair. I like the idea, by the way. It is noting that all of council's internal procedures need to be met as a supplier to do that. Assuming that's the case, my request also is that information is passed through to me because council also purchases wreaths. So as we do that, we can be looking to that supplier as well for Eketahuna. So.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it in discussion on 11 anyway, but for now we're just hearing Terry. Did you say there's something else you're
No, the only other thing, I'd say, well, not taking the LB well, I'll leave it for the rest of it. Discuss it.
all right, well, you're welcome to stay as long as you want, Terry, but otherwise we'll discuss that later in item 11. But step up and feel around the declaration. Read through that when you're ready.
Right, this is for everybody who voted about my duties here. I, David John Smith, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skill and judgment, execute and perform in the best interest of Eketahuna and the surrounding rural areas, including Tiramura, Alfredton, Hamua, Takanui, Laria, Rongamai, Matura, Rongakako, Aurora, and Newman. Powers, authorities, and duties vested and imposed upon me as a member of the Eketāhuna Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, and any other act.
All right, let's go.
Sorry for stumbling.
Sign on the line there. They are, please stop. All right. I did read that. It's the Chris. Step up for your declaration.
I, Christopher Lee Corlett, declare that I will faithfully and impartially, and according to the best of my skills and judgment, execute and perform in the best interests of Eketahuna and the surrounding rural areas, including Tiramea, Alfred, Hamua, Hukanui, Nuriaha, Rongamai, Putara, Rongakako, Kaipararoa, and Newman. The powers, authorities, and duties vested in or imposed upon me as a member of the Eketāhuna Community Board by virtue of the Local Government Act 2002, the Local Government Official Information and Meetings Act 1987, or any other act.
Please. Twice my needs.
Special.
Item 5, notifications of items not on the agenda. Verity, you had something.
Yes. I would just like to make notice that a huge thanks to Margaret, Jules and Clive of the Eketāhuna Eketahuna. Big thanks to them, the attendees and volunteers of the day, and Okie the traffic management. Also Chris for organising it. Yeah.
So you don't want us to put that into 13. You don't.
Well done.
Right. Let's go and move it to 13. Probably won't do it. Yes, that's all right. Do we have any conflicts of interest today? No? Confirmation of the minutes, and we're going to start our meeting slightly differently now, and I'm going to take it that everyone has read everything previously at home, and then we can just move straight on to people's comments about stuff. So for confirmation of minutes, Mel, did you want to bring up the little timing thing there, or?
Yeah, just that I noticed that there was discrepancy on page 9 and page 22, which I've already talked earlier about, just our meeting times that we've chosen 9:30 instead of 10. But it's been recorded as 10 on.
So would you like to move that they're true and correct with that change?
Yep.
Thank you, and
That's all right.
Page 9.
9 is
Yes,
2.
9:30.
Yeah, and then,
So that's correct.
yeah, that one.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the same thing.
Yeah, that one's it's just that the rest of the minutes.
we'll wait till the changes. And so
That's not the minutes.
okay, well, let's pencil that out then, and we'll move to that. Correct. Thank you. And second, Larissa, all those in favour? Aye.
Fine.
Carried. We'll get it all right next year. Right, same deal with moving on to the Terra Council report on page 12. So take that as read, and any comments on that? So that's where we can add the time change. Isn't that right?
Minutes.
That's the end.
When we get to the adoption, we will see. Then we make
Oh, they'll be-
change in the recommendation list.
Have even put that in my notes. So I'm not right. Do we have any comments about the report starting on page 12? No comments, so if someone can move that that report is received. Chris, thank you, and a seconder. I'll second it. All those in favour say aye. Carried. Right, now onto 21, the reports for the adoption of the meeting schedule.
My apologies for the CBA brain in recent time. So when you do pass the resolution, it's on page 21. You can start that challenge time.
Yeah.
Instead of saying meetings will start at 10 a.m. Make sure you know correctly. So we'll have an agenda coming out for 10 o'clock next time round.
Yeah.
So we've got the meeting starting in March. It's to allow the board to have its informal meeting prior to having its first formal meeting. So
Yeah.
the idea is that you'll be able to have discussions at your informal and work out what you want to actually bring into the decision making.
Is everybody happy if we just keep it at the same Monday and same time for our informal and just meet at the CAF, or you can meet here if you like?
I could put this room for you.
Can we do a weekend so more of the public can attend?
Is that a weekend?
So
We could discuss that. I mean, we don't have to set that in concrete today. We could make that
I'm
up.
just thinking if we're cutting it down to every second vote, that's sort of one that's public involvement, but we do.
It's not a public meeting, no, the informal one is just with us, and if I think if we had it at the CAF, then people would see us and they might be able to, comment. But we can look at weekend stuff too. All I was really wanting to achieve by commenting on that is that we get something that's regular so we remember it, and so we don't just go 3 months without contact with each other and suddenly we've got a meeting without anything to do, So I'm happy to discuss that further to see what suits, but aside from the informal ones, is everybody happy enough with the dates that Ellie's made up there?
You should go avoid session this stuff, this meeting.
Well,
But just a comment, Chair, to your earlier point, I agree with you. If you don't, even though they're informal, part of the secretary, if you don't get a set date and time that we do, they'll slip.
yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, so I think you should, I think you're correct.
Yes. Well, how about today we say if it works for everyone, let's do that Monday at 9:30 at the CAF. And whilst we're in that, if we decide the next month it wouldn't suit, we can change it. So that's Scott.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Even though these will be informal meetings, if you would like me to, if I'm able to, and so it won't be coming through governance, the emails, because it'll be just ask, with as much notice as you can for any meetings, so I'll jot this one down. But totally up to you. If you want to meet there, I'll do my best.
I would actually like that, yeah, it's just, just because it would just be a good environment to be able to just throw ideas around. That would be appreciated, I'm thinking the CAF setting too, so that they're a little bit more open to public if they want it.
The cat just on the major.
Yeah. So, all right, well, if everybody's happy with those meeting dates, someone wants to move that, first that report's received. Larissa, thank you, and a seconder for receiving that. Chris, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Carried. Second resolution, I can move that we use those meeting times and dates at 9:30 AM. And seconder for that.
Yeah.
Marissa, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Carried.
There's one for 3 as well.
Oh. I see. So we need to move, that needs to be moved and seconded. Someone else would like to move that we're going to hold out. Dave, thank you. Hold out informal ones in between. Seconded Larissa, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Carried. Page 27, the code of conduct for elected members. Ellie, did you want to come in something for you? There was a change or something, wasn't there?
It's been a little bit updated with the new branding. Just like what has always previously adopted a code of conduct, even though it's not a requirement of Act, but that's about to change and it will be a requirement and will be prescribed code of conduct going forward. This code of conduct that we adopt today will stay in force until we get a replacement code of conduct. It's useful to have one, so it just sets out the standards of behaviour we're expecting of each other and with the public and with officers as well, so everyone's on the same page as to speak, what's appropriate in social media and what's not, that sort of thing.
I think it's necessary, even though not legally required, but it's good to be able to have a set of rules to follow. Any comments further on our code of conduct? You're all good.
On a community basis,
All right, Someone like to move that report is received?
Yep.
Chris, yeah, seconder. Well, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Carry. And I will move that we adopt that code of conduct until it's changed. We have a seconder for that. Larissa, thank you. All those in favour say aye. Carry.
Who wrote this one?
Yeah, like New Zealand generally does it and tweaks it every 3 years, I think.
The central government are changing it next year.
Yeah, they got this bill before the House Chair, the local government system improvements bill, which has now just been last week reported back from the Select Committee. So I think you'd expect to go through its stages, but what the intention is to go through stages before Christmas. There is only, I think, almost 7 days left, so whether it makes it or not. I understand there's two things that DI is already working on, a code of conduct and standing orders. So if the bill passes, which it's likely to, then DI will probably move forward with this. When that happens, who knows, but probably sometime in 2026, it's the genius other priority. I'm not quite sure what problem they think they're addressing, but nonetheless, there we go. I think I'll be surprised if it looks too different to what's already been framed.
Yeah.
It's been through many years of iteration. So
we can rewrite it. 75% I see.
yeah, you can always, all councils can, not the council, but this is the council, so the council can rewrite it, but generally it's a pretty procedural thing. So some councils do occasionally change a few clauses from time to time for their own particular reasons, and maybe that's why the government's changing so that option won't be on the table.
Stop.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I'm really glad, as a board, by the way, that you passed and adopted a code of conduct. I think just further to what Malcolm was saying, one of the desires in local government to have a standardised and slightly changed code of conduct is the current version has very, very little teeth in practice. So that going through the Secretary of Local Government, going through actually being adopted, my understanding is there may be stronger sanctions for highly behaviour. That has been ripped out. So doing that on a standardised version is much easier than having strong sanctions based on individualised ones, because things can never rise by nature of people have chosen to put in their fairness surrounding. That's my understanding of the reason they want to achieve it.
The question's quite right. Whether they can achieve that or not, it's the $64,000 question, primarily because people are elected.
Yeah.
It's not like you can stand them down and say represent a part of the community.
Yeah,
You
so
can't take representation away.
Yeah.
it might be what they're trying to achieve. It might well be. So it's interesting how this will play out. Whether it's top of their priority list, I don't know. Keep announcing new things every day. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Matt. Moving on to correspondence, there was nothing there, was there? To discussion items on item 11. So we've already heard from Terry about those reads. Do we need to what do we need to do? Do we need to get some information?
I need the contact information so I can make a motion.
Yeah. Oh, you can see Elliot?
And Mr. Chair, and sorry for adding this at the start of the meeting rather than here, I'll learn the procedure as we go. The current community board briefs, but the council ones are generally through my office.
The community board ones are as well.
Yes.
The bondholders.
So I have no issues if the community desires, and we have a local option, that would be my preference as well. Of course, we have to look at costs, but yeah, as long as it meets all of that criteria. So I'm very, very happy for us to do that once we have them set up as a supplier.
Yeah, well, that would be exactly what I would have said, yeah, as long as the costs are good and they're happy to meet the criteria and then it's more local if we can. Yeah. We don't need to do anything. All they're doing.
Yeah, to supply them with
Just-
the contact details.
Yeah.
So listen, move on.
Yeah.
Did you get the forms on?
Yeah, it's just for our system.
I think one of the challenges, just to mention in the past, has been a supplier not being set up as a business, which can cause some challenges. So those are the things that we work through.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, I have seen an example of that too. I had a quite a long chat with Anthony Mason, who's the engineer for Horizons, about the river erosion on the Maker River bank. And it was quite positive. There was no resolution, but on the phone call, but there was quite, he was really open to looking at different options of how to achieve the bank not eroding anymore. It was, in the past, there was kind of only one option, and that was remove river metal so that the river, could flow more, so that it wasn't chewing out the bank. But the river metal was this rules under the Resource Management Act as to how much they can take, and they quickly take the limit, and then it's. But anyway, the point from the community person that brought it to my attention is the point is that taking that metal out, it's not really a long-lasting solution whether they're allowed to take more or not. It's more metal just comes down in the next flood. So while we were talking, he sort of had the idea of thinking about maybe concrete spray. I'm assuming it's a similar effect that the new roads got on the sites. And just sort of occurred to him while we were talking. So he was going to talk to somebody in council or Downer or about that idea among any other ideas. So I felt that it went quite well, because in the past it was just take the metal out, the next flood brings more metal up, and you've wasted money basically. Yeah. So I'll keep in touch with him, but he was keen to pursue ideas. So I think that went well. Yeah.
Usually got to pin that stuff down to find suitable strata to hold the pins into.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy because it's quite high. But also next flood, I'm going to go take a photo so we can kind of gauge the height that the water gets to on the bank, so that you're not spending money where you don't need to. So yeah, I'm pleased to see that it's working there.
So did the gabion baskets come into conversation?
I mentioned them, yeah, but again, just sort of what Dave mentioned, they need to be secured somehow, and also we've got a huge height, which that then led to let's check and see how high the flood water gets too. But I didn't bring that up, yeah. But yeah, not just putting it on one idea, but just the point is that this engineer is now going to go and do some talking about it. So I thought that was good. So we'll carry on with that. The Priest Road, Narina Road intersection, any?
Yes, yes, Chair, I have raised the issue with GM operations and instrumental ground. I have some good news and I've got some bad news. So Hamish and his team have looked at it, and his where they're at is that he's not going to do approve additional work on additional design work for that particular intersection. I'll quote them: "I've already completed an initial assessment to confirm that while it is a safety risk, the site does not rank near the top of the district's priority list when compared to other intersections with high traffic volumes or recorded incidents or greater risk exposure." He notes that there's no budgeted expenditure for this type of work, so even the sites at the top of the list are actually unfunded. Given this, any further investigations, his view, particularly the preparation of treatment options and associated costs, would divert their limited resource away from the higher issues, priority issues, which in their view present greater safety benefit for the community as a whole. That's the bad news. However, the good news is what the team has done has included the site and to be included for consideration in the next land transport plan funding round. If NZTA's policy directions shift back towards safety improvements, so they shifted away from that under the new GPS to deal with things like traffic and so on. So if that shifts again, and then the site actually might meet the threshold for co-funding investment from NZTA, which is a good thing because we have a 73% FAR, so it's ground pays most of it.
Yeah.
So we're working that. Just coincidentally, this Western Rhine meeting with NZTA representative Linda Harrison, Stuart, this week. So I'll put it on our radar screen as well. That's one bit. The other bit is if the board wants to advance the matter sooner than waiting for the next round of the national transport plan, then the suggestion of Hamish is the board raises it through the annual plan or LTP plan process. So just starting, this is doing the first cut of the AP to take to elected members in a series of workshops. So that'll come through. That's for the annual plan starting on July 26th. So background. And then if it doesn't get in that, then of course the LTP is also starting as well. So so Hamish's suggestion when I support is that you do both really.
Yeah.
Go for the national land transport plan co-funding, while also utilise the annual plan LTP processes to see if we can't get advanced funding for it. Hamish does and also note that the priority list is driven by the appreciation of the safety risk that's associated with a number of incidents. So he says that if there are near misses and other new incidents occurring, please make sure the community submit CRM reports so that these form part of the data set.
Yeah.
So that there's no point these things happening and they're not being recorded because they then don't make it on the analysis list vis-a-vis other priorities from Morsfield out to Woodville and down. So there's always trade-offs about who's on the list. So if anything you do to support your community with recording incidents when they occur would be helpful as well from a prioritisation point of view. And if you get up to this, more chance of being funded.
I will put that in the newsletter so that people know, because I've been, I reckon, about 3 near misses with me, but that was back before CRMs even existed. So, but now that I know this process now, I'll be doing it if it happens. But and previously, I thought it polite to ask for the site to be checked out by the professionals and maybe give us options of what they thought could improve the safety there. But after consulting with local people that know the site well, my view is agrees with them, is that the really clear and obvious way to fix that, completely fix the problem of people coming from Nuriha Road and drifting out over the white line and then having a possible head on, is to make the straight road a straight road. And put a give way on the road that curves onto the straight road, which is, how we normally have our road in. And that would completely fix, because you've got a curve onto both directions from Nuriha Road. Yeah. And the same near misses have happened. Well, I've had one on the other way. So, but that's the same problem, is that the Nuriha Road sends traffic on this nice curve and then they end up being too fast. But if those two curves had give way signs, you'd have to stop and give way, and I think the problem will be solved, and that is the consensus from people that know. So we've gone from politely asking the professionals to give us their opinions to say, can we actually suggest that is what we think would work brilliantly to fix the problem?
Well, that might be something for the benefits position. That might be something that the board could submit by way of the annual plan process.
Yes.
Yeah, more specific, my view is more specific what you can do, the better, both in terms of the problem that you and obviously more reporting to accentuate the problem, the better. But if you actually got a suggested solution, then that puts you a hell of a lot further forward. I mean, Hamish and the Alliance will have a different view possible, but at least you've got a position when you, but chair, I'm not an engineer, but at first blush, that doesn't sound like an unreasonable thing to do relative to other priorities.
Well, we're qualified farmers and mechanics, so we know this.
But
Seems like quite heavy.
So, we will do that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your that. Item 12, unfortunately I couldn't make the Christmas parade, but I just wanted to say, a big well done to our town for organising it. Also for the, I'm talking to Chris about the negotiating the costs down for the TMP and also for you guys helping out with it. I just wanted to comment in there that I talked to Mike Butterick a while ago and he said to me that national we're looking at this problem of communities having these big TMP costs for their community events. He said they were looking at ways to fix that, and one suggestion or idea they had was applying via a website with all your details and having all the instructions of what needs to be done and doing it, and that making it all a lot cheaper. So without worrying about the details, we had that discussion. So my thoughts would be, even though our town done very well in getting the price down, I think it's still expensive. So would it be a good idea to send a message to Mike Butterick and say, oh, hey, you had that conversation with Stephen there a while ago. Is there any movement on it? Because we're paying lots of money. So I'll to Scott.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. From my perspective, from a wider council perspective, absolutely, I highly encourage you to do that. One thing that I would ask is if you could also copy me into that correspondence. And the reason I say that is we have obviously a number of towns wanting to do Christmas parades. The costs of the full traffic management are thick, and definitely acknowledge the work that Eketahuna did to keep those costs down. This is something I want to look at in the new year, to be working with our local MP, who's also mentioned this to me of different alternative ways. So I think from the government's perspective, this could be an easy win for them, and it absolutely aligns to their risk-based approach model for traffic management in general. So really encouraged to hear that you're looking, that you've already had that conversation, and as a board you want to highlight that. I want to help amplify those messages from the community, because it's not just the Eketahuna that's been hit by it. And actually, it's not just our district. I spoke to another mayor of I spoke to another mayor of a rural district this morning, who asked how our Christmas parades work. They have a number of towns as well. Every town over the last few years has cancelled their Christmas parades because their district has no Christmas parades at all this year. So I think it's something we can work on together, definitely at local level here in Eketahuna, at district level. Actually, I think national interest as well. So please keep me in.
So just from that discussion, are we able to ask you, Ellie, to make a letter up? That's all right. To send off to Mike and Scott. But I think it'll be an easy tick for them, pre-election.
And I think it's an open business issue. I think chair that these costs are just got out of whack with the nature of the risk being managed.
Yeah. Well, he was sort of suggesting that it could just be like an administration fee, because when you lodge it online and then you get told how to physically do it correctly, and we do it with volunteers. Do you have something else, Scott?
Yeah, I do, just on the Christmas parade, if that's okay, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to let the community board know that I did receive a number of comments during the Christmas parade at the state, some of the lawn mowing, the other general garden maintenance. I have already allowed that through to the facilities team, knowing that there has been a change of contract. There may be some overlap between them, but an apology for that. Thanks to a Christmas parade, my expectation is that the town would be looking as presentable as possible. So I've asked for more information. We'll have to share that back with the community when we next meet.
Yeah, definitely. That was, I've had lots and lots of comments about it. It's, even though if we had no contractor in November, that should have been planned for. And
so rest assured that I'm already seeking further information.
Right, appreciate that. All right, well, I'll call the meeting close and thank you all for coming. See you in March.
Cheers, in March.
Well, we'll do our February cafe then, yeah.
Excellent. Very nice.